Yes. It's time for the Ella Johnson Show. Thanks for tuning in to the Ella Johnson Show, where there are two sides to every story. Enjoy the broadcast. Stay tuned. Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Ella Johnson Show. I am so excited that you are here tonight on this Sunday night, this special broadcast. If you are watching from Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, wherever, Instagram, we just want to welcome you to the Ella Johnson Show. But if you're over there at YouTube, do me a favor and subscribe to my channel. You're already there, so I would appreciate that. But I need you guys to share the broadcast tonight. I need you to get involved. We got poll questions. We're going to talk about this from the beginning to the end because we need to. And I'm just excited you guys are here. I have my guests. I want my guests to introduce themselves, though. I like for my guests to tell everybody who they are. So we're going to start with you, Marsha, since you're an old timer here now.
Okay. Thank you. I want to thank you, Ella, for having me tonight. I'm Marsha Nettles, and this is my sister in community. And we were, brought up in the same community. So I'm so happy to be here. I'm so proud of who she is and all that she's done. I'm an educator, and I love my community. I have dabbled in some community organizing. I definitely am deeply engaged in politics and how it affects us and how we affect it. So I think we're about to have a really important conversation tonight. Thank you for having me.
All right. Welcome to the Ella Johnson Show. Texas T is in the house. Hello. Tell everybody who you are.
Good evening, everybody. I am Houston's brother, Emmanuel, also known as the Texas T. Y'all see the hat right there. So I welcome everybody. I thank y'all for being here tonight. I am the Supreme General of the Honor Society down here in Houston, Texas. We are an organization that helps out with people during the transition of life for loved ones. We help out with a lot of victims of crime down here for them to be able to transition from the situation to a healing path. And a lot of people, they don't get that during those times. So we have brought together the forces of others that have went through it to assist with the other people that are just now going through it, to make a change, to offer some kind of consolation. And so with that, we do a lot of work in the community. I also am the owner of the Hood News GP station that brings a lot of different topics that affect our community right to the people, give them a different point of view, allow everybody to interact. I've also been a co-host of Street 100 The Heat, the critical show. Shout out to all my people there. We did that for many years, bringing attention on an internet level, to everybody and just going over all type of different problems that have faced people, not just down here in Texas, but all our 50 states. I'm also the head general of the Camp Texas, which is children abused, abducted, and missing persons. We help out with those that are disabled and to try and make sure that we're not burying our babies, but locating them before, those type of situations happen. And we do deal with a lot of that, and that's why our efforts are so strong. But I thank you for having me tonight, and my input will be the truth for the people.
I love it. I'm telling you, I was like, well, there's so much that you can bring to the Ella Johnson Show as far as like all the people that you come in contact with that we can share their stories here on this broadcast. I'm excited. Welcome, both of you. I am definitely looking forward to this conversation tonight because this is one that has to be had. I know There isn't a person, unless you're living under a rock, you haven't heard about this case with Jamal Bryant and all of this. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna get started this conversation. 60 years ago, Operation Breadbasket taught us that our dollar is our power. They taught us don't buy where you can't work. But in 2026, it feels like the message has been hijacked or something. We've got a massive divide tonight, and that's disheartening. On one side, you have national leaders. They're taking a victory lap because Target cut a check. On the other side, you have the people who actually started this fight in Minneapolis, the ones who stood on the pavement when it wasn't popular. Well, they're telling us the war is just beginning. Two different stories, right? And here is the part that should make your blood boil, because it did for me when I learned this. The founders of this boycott were offered a meeting with Target CEO. Did you guys know that? And they said no. Why? Because they refused to trade our dignity for crumbs. They knew that sitting at a corrupt table doesn't make you a partner, it makes you a pawn. That's real talk. Now, tonight, we're looking at the receipts. There's a $25 billion lawsuit that Target is fighting from their own shareholders, the millions they paid out to settle discrimination claims. And the big question, do we really have a seat at the table, or are we on the menu? All right, guys, let's get into it. Let's
Okay.
get into it. Let's get into it. I listen. When
Uh,
I knew that I wanted to do this show, Marsha and Texas T, I said, it's not a tough conversation to have, but it is and it isn't, because we have to check ourselves, right? And that's never easy. And I want to say, as a disclaimer, before we start having this conversation, I am not here tonight to, or my guests, to bash any of the leaders, because listen, it takes courage to lead a movement. It takes courage to admit when you're wrong. So we have to acknowledge all of that. So I want to say, as a disclaimer, that's not what this is about. But this is also not about personalities and all that kind of stuff. This is about what's real, what's happening. We need to get a positive message out to our people. This is my way of doing it. Right, guys? Is that
right,
fair?
right, right,
Very
right.
good.
Yeah, we can rely on other sources to demonize us at every opportunity. So I'm with you as far as, like, we're not here to demonize, but we just want to turn a critical eye, and we gotta,
You do.
not get caught up in personality, and not get too judgmental about it, because
Absolutely.
we're all walking a path, and everybody's gonna make missteps, and
Right. Right.
that's it.
So
Truth,
let's talk.
a great man once said, we can have different opinions on anything, but we can't have different facts. And as long as
Oh,
we here talking about factual things in life, that's what we need. That's exactly what we need. Some people call it gossip, but if you really understand true gossip, it's just telling you how it is, telling you what happened, not adding nothing to it and taking away from it. So, yeah, we're not here to shoot from the hip. We here to shoot from the lip. Ain't nobody gonna get hurt except for the one that done did something wrong to our people. Let's go.
that's right. Let's go. Let's go. All right. So we're gonna start this now. I don't want to assume that everybody knows why we were boycotting, or why we are boycotting Target. So I want to start out now, before, and this all goes back to, I guess we can say, it went back to George Floyd, because that happened in Minneapolis. Target stepped up. Being honest, Target stepped up and said that they became a corporate leader for social justice. Okay, they had committed to $2 billion with black owned businesses. Yay! They had a goal to increase representation of black team members by 20% in leadership roles. That all sounds good, right? They had used this strategy of belonging at the bullseye. That's what they called it. They had like these robust employee groups where they were really making sure people understood about pride. They had products in their store.
Sure.
They didn't. They had high visibility, right? So they were doing some good things. But then they were also promote. You guys know they had to submit data to a third party diversity company, and that's why they were always letting them know, yeah, the inclusion is working over here at Target. We're doing our thing. Stock is up. They were doing wonderful. But then Trump won. All hell broke loose, Texas T. Tell us what happened after Trump won and how we got to where we are today.
Well, it's the common tactic of throwing people off. A lot of people were so caught into the voter craze and the voting movement,
Mm,
and so everybody was focused in on what the campaigns were, and the campaigns were slanders against each other. So you still had a divisive country, of one side choosing one side and the other side choosing the other side. And one was going to be the loser. So of course the losing side is going to always, continue to bash the winning side. And that's created the divide here. And that's what happened. And once he won and he came in, those that were on his side, a lot of them, they had their own clashes that they had to go against. You know what I'm saying? Because he wasn't doing the things that he had promised in the beginning, exactly how he promised. He went in a complete different route of going after people that he had already formally said he wouldn't. So his own supporters had problems in the House. The opposite side, they continued the battle because, again, they feel like since they lost, it has been their job to continuously show everything that this person in this administration, this regime is doing is wrong. And in some kind of effort in showing that, then the next election, which they know comes quick, we won't choose that way. We'll choose the way that they're going. So in my opinion, they're working on the manipulation strategy right now, with a lot of the opposition that they have with this man
right.
and the things that's going on in the administration.
So let's talk about DEI, Marsha. Target, Trump came in and got rid of DEI, and all of his followers followed suit. That's how we got here. Target did it. Walmart did it. There were several companies that rolled back their DEI initiatives, and Target is one of them. So for those of you that are watching, are like, oh, so that's why we started Boycott. Yeah, because they took that back. Remember all this good stuff I said they were doing? Well, they took all that back, right?
Right.
They took all of that back.
I don't want to sound like devil's advocate, but you could say maybe I did drink some of the Kool-Aid. I thought Target did some great and progressive things regarding our community, but for a moment, I just wondered, like, in the abandonment of DEI, what did that mean exactly? Like, did it mean that for the future they would not be honoring those, statistically making sure that certain communities weren't represented? Would they be firing people would they be getting rid of people of color that are already on staff? Like what?
So what they did with that was they said, listen, everybody's important. All businesses are important. Instead of saying supplier diversity, we're going to say supplier engagement. They worded everything so it doesn't look black. They didn't want to make a focus on black. They want to say if you qualify, that thing P. Hegseth was saying, you have to just qualify. If you have a good business and everything is great, they weren't going to focus on black anymore. That's what this rollback was. That $2 billion, they stopped. That's why when you hear Jamal saying that they cleared 97%, that's not a new pledge. That's something they already pledged and they stopped paying on it. That's why they're not all the way in, right? Texas T, am I right? I want you to fact check it tonight.
Oh yeah, it's statistics behind it. That's why so many people took a lot of offense. It's because a lot of people don't know the statistics. They don't know the facts behind a situation. And when you put someone in front of a camera, the power that they hold over you to persuade you is immaculate. And what he did in this manipulation is he said things that when you fact check them, those things are not the truth. And you're supposed to be a man of God and all that there. You're supposed to stand on the truth. That's why you can manipulate people, because people will listen to a preacher or someone of the cloth before they would listen to a person in the community that's directly involved. So they knew the manipulation would come from him. When he said in his statement, 300,000 Black women lost their jobs this past year. That's a direct lie. It's 113,000 per the IWPR report. That's Essence magazine. I mean, that's Essence reports, and that's from 6.3 in to 5 point from 6.3 to 5.4. It shows that that's not the number that he's saying when he say the highest year of unemployment for black people. That's a lie, because black employment rose 7.5 at the end by December 2025 on the numbers, and that's been the highest rate since October 2021. 15% in 2011 and 16.9 in April 2020. See, those are factual statements that everybody can go and look up. So when he says stuff like this, what he does is he excels the problem. He balloons the problem into something being something that it's not. And those things right there, those lies, that's what tells us this is a manipulation. So when people say, I think you sold out, you don't have to. That's exactly what it is. We're going to have proof of these things, because again, you are in the clock. You control what you speak. When you have this camera, you know exactly what you're going to put out. So when he puts out this warning, highest year of unemployment for our people, black people. Oh, now it's all about black people. Well, when we go to the statistics, that better line up with what you're saying. Otherwise, you inflated it on purpose to make us think again that there's a problem there that's not, and that you solved it. Right. When he keeps saying in his statements, we did. He's claiming ownership as him being a part of those who produce the boycott or have some form of authority to be able to continue it or stop it. He's purposely doing this. And I tell a lot of people, because I go after a lot of people in my Restoration Through Reeducation series, about how our leaders can manipulate us with wordings. Mm-hmm. And they know exactly what they're doing. So we can't give them a pass. We can't say that, he didn't mean that. He said he is grateful to God it's over, among many other things. And I quote things exactly out of person's mouth. So you can't never come back and sue me. That's come right. For me, and it's going to line up the truth. These are the words he said out his mouth. He said, it's over, claiming you have ownership over it, and you have given the word out, like the dude on the boat when he threw the hat up. You've given the sign for everybody to join in, and you told them it's over. Over means stop. But you come back and say my warrior women are the ones that started it, that the sisters, and you named them all, are the ones that started it. Well, like many people have said before, if they're the ones you're giving credit to with your high education, then why would you make a battle cry to stop their battle without them present? And since this all is about Target did this and did that and did this, this is what I'm saying. When did he sit at the negotiation tables with Target?
Right.
And what were these sisters? If you're giving us the sign to stop it, you know what you're doing. When you come back and retract that, more people will have heard the stoppage than they'll hear the retraction. Right. You understand? And so you know the effect that you're doing. But again, he keeps saying we in a purposeful manner, as if he, and he uses the Montgomery bus boycott of back in the day and say this has been the greatest successful.
Oh, no, we're going to talk about that.
Yeah, these are all manipulations.
Yeah,
that
exactly.
he purposefully has done to lull us into stopping it because somebody has paid them off. And we're going to get into the facts of that here. I'm sorry, Queen.
I was gonna say, I was disappointed when you reported that the leadership did not meet with the Target CEO. Like, I mean, why not? Like, why not?
Because they said that this is her explanation. She said that they said if you're not ready to roll back the stuff and do some of the stuff we want, don't waste my time. That was her explanation of why they did not meet with Target CEO. And we're talking about the new one. The new one did reach out to them and they declined to meet with them.
Oh, okay. I misunderstood. I thought it was the former the former
No,
one.
it was the new guy. He reached
Mhm.
out and they said, "Look,
Mhm.
don't waste my time. If you're not trying to do something for real." From the looks of it, she was right to do that because they didn't get anything that
Right.
they went in there. I mean, you got them making something. They made it look like they did something new, and all they did was just continue something they already promised
Right.
you. You know.
Exactly.
So
I wonder this. I wonder this. This $2 billion in the black community. Where? What organizations did an extra $100 million to immediate organizations that are meeting the needs in our community? You need to now, since they have done this, you have to now prove to the black community
yes,
that this is done for. Who are those people? And we need to see nominal figures that were handed out to each one of them. Otherwise, you have just extorted this company to pay this money on behalf of black people as if you had authority to speak for black people. And guess what? That's an extortion payment. That's a crime.
Hmm.
You didn't have a right to do that. So whoever received all this stuff that he keeps claiming is the good stuff, or they met 3 of the 4 demands. Why he's building that up, whoever they was that got that, you need to bring that money out. You need to show us that money because it don't belong to whoever. Now, bet you when we trace it, $2 billion, he said. If we trace that, like you said, I bet you a lot of that is not our community. It's not.
a lot of times it isn't. You're absolutely right.
Right,
Speaking
right. We were
facts on
talking
that.
about that earlier. Well, who is
Yeah,
DEI? Who benefits from DEI?
Exactly.
yeah, yeah. So why do you guys think this did? Why do we think Target rolled back all of this stuff? Why do you think they just up and did that after Trump? Because Costco was like, listen, nah, we good. There's
Yeah,
some people that push back. Target
yeah.
didn't. Why do you think they didn't, Marsha? Why what do you think was the reason that they had to go this route?
Well, what can you say? Weak leadership. You could say that. People, first of all, we're being looted as American citizens. We're being looted by the current government. And these businesses are participating in that. So there's probably a financial incentive for them to do it.
Yeah.
And that's really
They're
disappointing.
scared of Trump. They're
Yeah, they're
scared of Trump.
afraid.
That's what
I,
it is. Yeah.
and
A
I
lot
would
of
say
them
this,
are part.
Yeah.
I thought for a minute, because I thought that, I talked to you about what I thought were progressive and affirming things that Target was doing. And I thought, like if it was me, sometimes I would give lip service to something that I have no intention of doing, especially as an educator. Miss Nettles, could you please make sure that blah, blah. Oh, of course. So, I wanted to believe, like, what if they didn't do it, just like whatever you say. But, there's a character, there's a moral, there's a moral and character expectation, just like you were saying about Costco. Costco is firm, and I appreciate it, and I appreciate other businesses. But again, I don't know. I just want to be clear about what are our demands. What do we need Target to do? And I think we have a great opportunity here for getting everything we can, for getting a lot of benefits, because Target is vulnerable. Okay, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I didn't mean to go off on a
No,
tangent.
no, no, bro. That's
I
okay.
believe Target jumped on with the campaign because it's true. A lot of the Target shoppers have been known to be a lot of the supporters, of Trump during the past years. A lot of them, and so I feel like the company in a business strategy, in a business move, these are my opinions, in a business move, they chose to ride with what the Trump administration was doing and excluding. And they took a gamble because they felt like their shoppers would be loyal, like the MAGA movement, and they would keep them in business and they would join it.
Uh-huh.
And when they saw that it didn't
Uh-huh.
work that way, now they got to back out because now reality understand you're going to be here. You're a business. You know what I mean? You're going to be here long after Trump is gone, Target. So do you want to disrespect your own customers? So now they have to get back on the business strategy and figure out how do we fix it now. But the
Now you're
gamble we
on to
made.
something. Now you're on to some, Texas T. Well, how do we fix it? I'm gonna tell you guys. You know, I'm gonna just call a spade a spade. I believe that the reason Target is entertaining Jamal and the group is because now they need to look good. This boycott is hurting business and it's hurting their shareholders. Now they're getting sued. There's pensions that are getting messed up.
Yeah.
They got all kind of lawsuits and discrimination lawsuits and stuff over their head. So they need to make it look nice. They need to make it. We're playing with the black folks. We're playing nice with them. That's what they need to do now, because now it's going to pull all these people that want to hold back their funding, and they're like, look, y'all better fix this. So that's why. Because my thing is, if you really want to be credible, why didn't Target say it?
Yeah.
Why didn't Target say it? Right? Has anybody ever looked at that? Why is he doing all the talking? Why aren't they talking? That it's over. We're going to take care of y'all.
Right. Where's the leadership? Where's the leadership from Target? I thought too that. Well, that's okay.
No, go ahead.
I got that southern minister over here, y'all. I'm getting worked up. I'm getting hot. See, I'm a PK now. You know, for those that understand. So I know what Jamal Bryant and many of those that jump out there, I know a lot of their tactics. You know, I was the kid in the church that sat there and watched them, studied them. You understand? And so today, I guess they felt like I would continue in their manipulation. And when I didn't, you know, I was ostracized from their church, you know, because I'm not going to lie to these people. I'm not going to do that. And so a lot of times what they do is they try to shut down that type of philosophy. When a person tell them to prove what you were talking about is real to me in my life, they want to get to the manipulation, get back to the hope and faith and trust. All of those things, those words are synonymous with deceit because none of them have any facts behind them. But when you tell a person to prove things, to show that my seed is growing, and they know that they can't do it, the foolery, they'll try to run away from you. They'll get mad. They'll reject you, and they don't want you around. So a lot of them, of course, they have those that are in the community that really do things, and they're not paying attention to them. They're right around them. Right. And they're not paying attention to them. Why? Because they can't use them to manipulate the people. Right. You know, they can't use them for their self-gain. And what it all comes down to, and I'm saying this, and this is what God loved, as my grandmother used to say, what it all comes down to is that almighty dollar. That's what it all comes down to.
Absolutely.
That almighty dollar. Oh yeah, they do all of these things at the beginning, the middle, and the end of the day for financial wealth to take care of their needs. Other than that, I'm not going to believe nobody out here does anything just for my good. You don't even know me. Right. I'm just getting up as a politician every day. I don't take any money. I work my own self and I spend my extra time making the world better for y'all. No, all of these are paid positions of authority, even down to the preacher. And so they covet these payments. And so this is what we call the political game. As the Bible said, for those that know about the Bible, it said at a certain time, there'll be many out that are only out for political and economic gain. They will not teach the children right. They will not teach the people right. See, a lot of those pastors, they run away from that because if they say it, then they know the mirror comes to them. And then they know the people can come up out of their foolery, trickery. It's very easy. That's why they stay away from that. And what does he do? He comes out and he says, we. He manipulates the people of God, those who he's supposed to be covering, watching, and not allowing the system to manipulate. These are the same people that he would turn around and say, I'm sorry, I have failed. Look, I don't want to hear I'm sorry from a surgeon. I don't want to hear I'm sorry when I put my mom on that operating table and her hands in your life. You sorry. What? How can you fail? This is a job you're not supposed to fail at. You're supposed to know what you're speaking to the people and giving us and directing us to do. And they do know. And that's
And what
exactly
he's
what he
talking
did.
about is that Jamal did come back and say he failed. He's sorry. He didn't understand. That came out, I think it was today, right, Texas T? And I'm just
Exactly.
reading this and I'm like, really?
Yeah.
I, okay. So Danielle, I want to take this comment from Danielle, and guys, and we're gonna have our first poll. I'm gonna make sure you guys are engaged tonight. Danielle says, "I'm sick of these false prophets. Jamal don't speak for the black community." Oh, I can't tell you how many times I haven't seen that over the last couple of days. Cheating Jamal needs to tend to his affairs. Okay, right. So I didn't know he was still cheating. Okay, so here we go, guys. This is the first poll. Can a company be a community partner if they fund programs that increase incarceration? No, that's a conflict of interest. Yes, they're just trying to keep stores safe. Or C, depends on if they stop now. Can a company
Mm.
be a community partner if they fund programs that increase incarceration? Why is that one of the poll questions, Ella? Because Target does. See, this
No.
is
Tell them
the
how they
thing that's
do.
so real.
Um,
Everybody's trying to silence the originator. She knew why she moved the way she did. This woman
Exactly.
knows the dirt about Target. That's why she's not impressed with Target wanting to just speak to her. She said, "We ain't playing with these people. We mean business." And Target is very responsible for a lot of incarceration, guys, and
mhm.
she rolls some of that out when she explains herself. So people just look at her and think, "Oh, she's just an angry lady. That's why they don't want to talk to her." She's not ready. She's not there for the BS. This
Mhm.
lady understands who Target really is.
Mhm.
And after reading today, because I didn't know a lot of this stuff until I started researching, and I'm like, there it is.
Mhm.
That's why she's not so quick to go to the table. This woman has made a lot of demands at Target, but we don't hear about it. But
Yes.
we heard a lot of Jamal, because you were saying that too, Marsha. You were like, I didn't even know that this lady was running this. She was there. I
Right.
didn't know. I didn't
Right.
know.
Yeah,
Did you
she
know,
didn't
Texas?
have she didn't have the coverage like he had. Again, it goes back to the stage he has always been the most powerful in the black community.
It's
Our
true.
pastor, our preacher,
That's right.
our
That's right.
our 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 father. That's what we look on as this person holding this authority over our spiritual knowledge. And so we trust everything. She couldn't get a stage higher than his unless she had been that. And that's why he was able to be the one they chose to manipulate the people. And so many other times we don't call it out exactly for what it is, but hey, it's the truth. It's what God loves. It's the truth. But
I was.
they don't want anybody talking like that because then, it makes people think we telling you to leave out the church. No, I'm not telling you to leave out the church. I'm telling you, don't let nobody fool you. Pay attention to what's going on in front of you. These
Right.
people you're talking about, God want the pastor to have Rolls Royces and all that. He bless people, but he want the people to be walking. Man, what God you serve and want that type of situation? That's
Right.
like a parent saying, I want one child. You can have the Whopper meal at McDonald's, but the other child, even though I have money, you can go buy a soup from the store. What?
Right. Right.
Who does that? You
Right.
understand? That's a hateful father. I don't want to be a part of a father like that. I don't want to be worshiping a deity that would make me or make anybody else treat each other like that. And if
Yeah.
that's what's happening, we got to get away from it. But the people have to have the courage to stop thinking that Jamal Bryant or any of them is any different than everybody. My grandma used to say, hey, man, everybody got an asshole and it stank what comes out of it. Guess what? He do too. He's just like all of us. The manipulation is on us because, again, we trust our religious leaders.
Yeah.
Those are some of those that can scam us. They can also lead us the right way, but we have to see who they are as a person. And if you have this type of person that has been exhibiting to us all these behaviors all these years, I don't care how nobody feel. I'm gonna tell you the truth.
Right.
You've been out there doing this in the world. Y'all saw the little dress his wife had on, and it caused a lot of controversy and the explanation he had behind it. When you live in one way where you telling people don't live worldly, but you're living worldly, you're oxymoronic. You're a contrast, and it's going to cause some strife between the people. And you doing that, why? Because you really don't care about the people. You care about your pockets at the end of the day. You
Right.
and your family, where you sleep at night, what you eat, what you drive. Because if
Right.
what you're doing is leading the people off and you're here for the people, you would stop what you're doing. And that includes the lavish lifestyle. I could not be no pastor of no church and the members in my congregation don't have a vehicle that's just as equal as mine, can work just as well as mine. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I mean, if we all gonna do it together, let's do it together. Then guess
Right.
what? I got a car too. But these, they go after their own selfish ambitions and they don't want a car like y'all. They don't want the Hyundais. They want the Rolls Royces. And to attain this, they have to sign these secret deals behind our back and come and stand in our face and throw us off. And that's what this has accomplished, a throwing off of the black community saying, hey, you ain't running this, and why have you been leading them out? This is something that's been going on in our community for a long time. People
Right.
getting credit for stuff they really don't
Didn't
do,
do. Yeah.
manipulating those that do it, and
Yeah.
silencing the voices of these real warrior women who are the starters of this, and who, if you listen to what they say should be implemented, it would help out the community. But we don't get that again.
Right.
This.
You know,
Go ahead, Marsha, because I wanna get your feedback on all of that. Go ahead.
I'm good. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go back to another point because,
Okay.
and you can call me a centrist or whatever, but I I can't help but think that not entering a negotiation is an oversight. I mean, what can I tell you? Like, it's not a negotiation you until you can see there's something that all I'm saying is, like, it was her opportunity to be with Target, get them to say exactly for on the record to her what their intention was, for her to present what demands we
She had
have,
made
the
it known
community has.
what her demands were. She did that
Right,
in a letter. Yeah.
right. So, but
Yeah.
I'm saying negotiate. I don't know. Like, as an educator, I'm always encouraging negotiation. I'm always emphasizing the importance of expressing yourself to others, what what it is you want, what how you're causing harm. Like, put it all on the table. Oh, we know about the fact that you're causing or you're supporting incarceration. I think there's a real benefit to getting in their face and saying, this is what we know, this is what we need, and you can leave it. You don't even got, you don't even have to listen to them if you don't want to listen to them. But I just think there's power. I just
I
think there's
don't think
power.
they have an intention to negotiate. I
Mhm.
think that what Trump said he wanted and they implemented, they're not gonna go up against him.
No,
They're
no, I was
scared of.
thinking about, you said that the new CEO
Yeah.
wanted to
Me.
call her to the table, and I just think that it was,
You
and
think
I'm
she
just
missed
saying,
her opportunity? She missed her
yeah,
opportunity.
because
Yeah.
this is like the iron is hot. You know what I mean? So it's a great time to make demands after they've been, like, okay, we need your executive board to be more representative. We need you to fund scholarships. We need you to raise your pay rate. I mean, whatever thing, like,
How
all
do
we
we
should.
know that Target even said anything at all? How do we know?
Hmm?
How do
Exactly.
we know? How do we know that Target
That's
really
another
sat
thing.
there
Yeah.
and negotiated with him, and that he's just not coming and telling us this just to make it
Exactly.
look
Again,
good?
Well, we don't know. I'm
another
not even thinking
thing.
about. I
But
wasn't even
making
thinking about the
statement
guy, the
and
pastor. I'm
it's
just saying, like, okay, who was it that got called? I'm under the impression that the lady who began Nakima is the person who was summoned by the new
She,
CEO.
the new CEO obviously reached out to her because she's been in their
Right,
face as well.
prominent. Yeah,
But she said, if you're not ready to talk about the real issues, don't waste my time. Because she had already laid them out because this is how I know he doesn't care about the issues, because Jamal didn't get them either. He didn't get it either. He only got the man's making it look good, saying pledge 2 billion. Oh yeah, we already know that. You already did that. We want you to start at the rest of what you promised. Now we want more after that. Because we're not begging for something. I mean, Black people really are consumers that, we give out our money so much to these companies.
We do.
There's nothing wrong with demanding something in return. Nothing.
Right. I'm just saying, I want us to be laser focused on what we want. What do we want them to do? What benefits can we demand of them at this moment where they are also vulnerable? We have demonstrated our financial economic power, and I don't know. I think that's all. I would say that.
See, negotiations is even the word basically just means to talk about, and so a lot of people like you would feel like if that was true, that this new CEO or anyone else came to the people that were complaining about the problem and they wanted to sit down and talk about it and find out a solution. If that was true and they did not do it, then that would be a negative on their part, because you're not looking for a solution if we don't even talk about it. Anybody that's trying to solve a problem will be open to talking about something, and that's all negotiation is. You get both sides and then y'all work it out. But we're saying if they did that and that was not done, then we question, why was it not done? And we have to wonder, maybe she wasn't ready with all of the people that were all involved, and she wanted all of those people involved at the table. I mean, it's many reasons, but I'm pretty sure if you're running a campaign, you're getting something done, you have demands. You have things that you want to put on the table and all that, but you don't want to be played with. And that's one thing our sisters do not do, is allow anybody to play with them. Oh, they can see it. They can tell if your intentions are truly good. How are you inviting me to this table? Because you're going to run and tell everybody, well, we tried to negotiate and she didn't want to. You're going to tell them that. But are you going to tell them?
That's the error of trying to litigate something in the press. That's what I think the error is. I'm sorry.
You're going to be ready when you're ready. And then again, you can't come to me and tell me I'm ready to sit at the table and talk. No, partner, that ain't how it goes. You wait until we tell you that we're ready to talk to you, because we're the ones who are affecting you. You need us. That's how it's supposed to be in the business world. So if she did turn it down, if she did, I can't fault her because I don't know the reasons. But I do know that a negotiation takes two people. So if he went into some kind of negotiation and these things were promised to him and were done to him, that means he made some demands. And if he or anyone else made demands to this company and this company made reactions off of those demands, then that means they did not include this woman nor the people that started this, that are instrumental in it, and now the authoritative figures in this, to be a part of it. And why would you do that if you're this godly person bringing us together? Man, come on now. We wasn't just born yesterday. And, I was born in the morning, but it wasn't this morning. So understand, none of us are dumb. We know when people in our community will sell us out for money. Now, his organization, or one of the organizations that he's under, it's been reported that Target made a substantial donation to that preacher's organization. And it some kind of way will be funneled into the many preachers that are in the organization's pocket. And now, okay, y'all can go back to Target. Why would you do that?
You're talking about the $300,000 to the National Baptist Convention?
That along with, if they gave them any type of distribution in these new funds that he said they just made promises and they just did. He said $100 million was given to immediate organizations that meet the needs in our communities. Come on, y'all. Y'all all know the needs in our communities. What organizations do y'all know that are out there besides food stamps, besides Social Security, that are giving food to the babies in this community in the streets, that are giving them clothes when they need. What needs in our community, and what organizations is giving it to us that we all readily know of, and that Target has given this money to. And you got to understand something about money. When you move money around, there is fees for what they call commission in the sales world. There's same fees that go on in the donation world. See, when we give a $1 million to this organization that goes and helps missing children, they're not using that $1 million just for supplies. The CEO of that company gets a percentage of that million. The people that work officially for that company, that organization, get a stipends. You feel what I'm saying? So the $1 million isn't going directly towards the actual act or benefit of doing a certain thing. It's going to the running of the things and those that are over the running of the things. That's how a lot of them line their pockets. They get these corporations to bend to their will, to extort them into giving the money to the organizations they want to, because they know some kind of way those organizations are going to kick that money back to them.
Danielle makes a good point. Money, yeah. Danielle says it's not even a target in any poverty communities.
Come on now. We can't afford to pay.
Okay. That is so
just being real. A lot of those poor people, we know.
Can I finish a thought that I have about negotiating? Which is, I just think it's a mistake to litigate entirely in the press. Do you know what I mean? Like,
true.
Like the press is important, and it's a tool, but it's also a weapon. So, like, I think there's power, and I think there's power in showing up to a negotiation, and I think that the press is the press. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I'm saying is that
I want you guys to.
But I'm here. I'm excited to hear these comments from
video. Because we've been talking about this woman here, this beautiful Black woman, Miss Nakima. She is one of the founders of the Target Boycott in Minneapolis, and she was on Roland Martin's show, and she was a little heated. Their conversation was going back and forth. It was a very heated conversation, but I wanted to give you guys just a little bit of it. So watch this.
It's a national boycott.
Right, I understand that. That's
around the country. But don't dilute the leadership of the people on the ground in Minnesota. Because you and I had a conversation about this very thing. And I told you at the time that Jamal, Tamika, and Nina are not credible.
Okay.
That is why I would not join the national coalition that you wanted to form in the middle of all of this.
No, you and I had a conversation. You and I had a conversation.
Well, we had a text or email.
Right. No. No, I'm gonna say what it is.
I said to you that they're not credible, and they're not.
No, I'm gonna say what it is. Hold on, one second. I'm gonna hold up 1 second. Nakima.
Stand with this man in Washington trying to call for an end to the boycott. Now they're trying to save face, talking about they're still in it. We don't need you in it. Go find something else to do with your time that doesn't involve confusing Black America at a time like this. How can you stand with this man in Washington, then turn around and say, oh, I'm still boycotting. Oh, my organization. No, you made a choice, and so did we.
So I'll say this. So again,
for any of it.
So for the purpose of the audience, when there was a meeting that
she said it. The boycott continues. I'm with the sister. See, a lot of them, regardless to who they is, if you got this nationally renowned show and all of that, a lot of them don't understand that the great leaders are these people who, seem like nobodies. This sister and the others that joined with her, joined the forces, collectively inspired the masses of the people to do this. Those others joined in later and try to take control of it. You understand? And so if y'all saw when she was talking, she wasn't going to be, bullied into, stopping her voice until she clarified exactly what she meant. That is a tactic of a great leader. So him and any of them trying to come in and do anything, talk to anybody without her presence or without her say so, without her leadership, that's just like taking over the Martin Luther King thing back in the day. Right. You know, that's exactly what that would be like. Like, hold on, we gonna march over here. Wait, you just wait, and we're gonna do it this way. No, you gotta let them, you know, them that's run it all, that's been running it, do it. Get in there. I know it's a many ministers back in the day. Once King and them did what they did, oh yeah, they wanted the popularity of King then. They wanted to be able to run things then when it seemed like they had some authority and that they were changing the world. Yeah, they wanted to because they wanted the attention on themselves. Jealousy came in.
I need to offer a correction. Martin Luther King was never popular during his lifetime. He was not. He was not embraced by Black people during his lifetime. And I mean, no, he was a great organizer. But you know, you saw all those people at the march. But let's just say this: for every one person that showed up to the march, it was like 5 or 6. Like, I wish that nigga would sit down. I mean, I'm serious. At the time,
but I'm sorry,
of his life, Martin Luther King was not a popular person. He became.
I'm sorry, sister. That's not true. And the facts of it, no disrespect to you, the facts of it is Martin, who was born, Michael, was born in Atlanta, Georgia. At a time, Atlanta has always been predominantly Black. That man grew up in one of the blackest towns. His daddy was the head preacher. I mean, the owner of
I lived in blackest. For many years. I walked past Dr. King's house.
You're right, King. Hear me out, King. This is at a time. You know, this is at a time.
I was when Black people at King Center when I was young and I was in college in Atlanta. I was part of King Center. So I'm not just someone who read it. I went there. I interacted with the people at King Center. I interacted with the King family. I interacted with all of with Andrew Young. I interacted with James. I'm sorry, I can't call his last name. That man was my mentor. I can't think of his name. But I'm just saying, I interacted with the icons of the civil rights movement. So I was tutored by those people. I didn't read it in a book. Thank you. That's all.
And that's good, and because you know I've had a lot of those same mentors also. You know, I've sat at the dinner table and taught Jesse Jackson things. Yeah, me, and I got proof of it and all that. And Sheila Jackson, a whole lot of big politicians know me, do exactly what I tell them for the people, and it's a great thing to know all of that. But the truth is still the truth. This man, Martin Luther King, when he grew up as a grown man, as a young man, he was loved by his people at first. He was a Baptist minister. He was highly regarded. He was highly regarded and respect and admiration by his people. And that's why you see all of those beautiful pictures that show our people did love him. It was later on in his life, controversy came. And a lot of people started to not like him. And he became unpopular because Martin Luther King moved to New York.
And when I talk about popular, I'm talking about percentage wise. Like, would you believe, would you say 75% of the people, embraced him? That is not true.
So guys, let's get back on topic. Right.
Not embrace him.
Let's get back on topic. I want to talk about the video. So what did you guys think about? What did you think about the video, Marsha?
Yeah, I mean, I got the message again. What can I tell you? I want those negotiations to be understandable. I want them to be clear.
Well, until we hear from her, we'll never know exactly why she didn't. But from what I see, that what they got, I see why she didn't. I see why. Because they didn't come back with anything. There was nothing substantial in that conversation that they haven't already agreed to. Mm-hmm. And so they didn't seem like they were really ready. They didn't even apologize. They refused to do that. Their response is, we're just going to move forward. Okay. We're going to move forward. That's what Target said. Yeah.
Right. These are people that live their lives, and are affected by this. People have spent their time into this. So it was her job, to protect the sanctity of that. And if she did not feel that the negotiation table that they were inviting her to was the proper negotiation table that makes some effective change, then damn right she wasn't supposed to, and nobody else was supposed to. But if they sat down at that same table, it's a lot of people that would feel like, you just beg for anything and just accept whatever the people will give you, and something is better than nothing. But that's not
true.
all people.
Sometimes you gotta walk away.
That's not all. That's some. And some will have to
show up. I'm just saying,
you're not going to just accept anything
not walking away.
Okay, guys, y'all are talking at the same time. Hold on.
And so you must respect the money as I spend. You cannot get into anything that would clash with your consumer. You put your consumer's needs before anyone else. And if there's any organization that is out here that's doing that, hey, that's good for the people to stand up for it and not be manipulated. And what's wrong with it? That's how I feel about it.
Marsha, go ahead, continue what you were saying.
No, I'm just saying that seems like the first step to me. I'm not gonna keep hitting it, but it's just
so her conversation basically, because in her conversation with him, she said a lot of other things. She said that she didn't feel like Jamal was genuine. She said that she's disturbed at his actions. She felt like he was peddling himself as the leader. She's had conversations with him. So this isn't, it's not like she hasn't talked to him. She hasn't talked to Roland. They've been talking.
Right.
So here's my thought about this conference. I think that it is great that a lot of people are getting involved with the boycott. But just imagine, I want y'all to think about the one that actually changed laws, which was the Montgomery bus boycott.
Yes, ma'am.
That's a boycott because there was legislation made as a result of their sacrifice. People have sacrificed going to Target, if you call that a sacrifice. And what did we get from that to say, okay, now we're going to do this? They didn't even roll back the DEI. He said, we're reimagining. What the hell is that? What is reimagining?
Now he's over to Dollar General. This is his next. He's saying he's going after the Dollar Generals in the neighborhoods because we spend so much and they've never given anything. So now he says he's done and we're done with the Target and we're on to Dollar General. Again, these are things that are in your life as an option. God ain't promised you that coming in this life, you're going to shop at fucking Target or excuse my language, or be able to afford Target. Damn Target. It's a lot of stores I cannot afford. I'm just not going to go in there financially. So why should we be making life decisions over an optional part of our life? And for him to equate that, to find a simile, a parable where he can bring in some type of same way that this had to do with the 1900s bus boycott. How? People were losing their lives over the seats. The bus boycott back in the day, it was because we were going and being sent to jail over this stuff. You understand? Our lives were at risk, not options to shop at a store. We had to travel if we needed to work because they had rules where if we didn't have a job, we could end up in the penal system. So we had to travel. You're going to stop us from traveling. Therefore, you're messing with our livelihoods. That is what that Montgomery bus boycott was about. But to equate it to the Target thing, no, he did that on purpose. He did that on purpose because you see the other sister didn't use that in her description of what they're doing.
You can't. It's not even close. It's not even close. Yeah.
He is a manipulator, in my opinion, like a lot of those, not all of those that use the pulpit and the influence the pulpit has on people, against people. And he's lining his pocket some kind of way because he's doing this for something. The statements he made out his own mouth, I'm sorry, that condemns him. It condemns his own self. I'm sorry, I have failed the people this past week. I led y'all. What?
Marsha, let me ask you a question. Do you think that by this conference, this press conference that Jamal had with the other women, do you think that this did damage to the boycott, to the movement?
Yeah, for a lot of people that ain't Target right now. I went by doing research before I got here, and this is Houston, Texas. I tell you, you go in Target, go by Target. I promise you're gonna see black faces up in there. So what does that tell the business world? They think that the black dollar is the melanated, dark hued person. So as long as they got dark hued people up in there, not understanding everybody black ain't black, that they feel like they want it. Think about the other cultures who disclaim themselves from us. Are they a part of our Target boycott? Are they participating in it? Go down there and see if you see all these different people still buying Target right now. So no, it did that.
You did think it did. Okay, Marsha. What do you think, Marsha? Do you think it did damage by them stepping ahead like this?
I don't think of this Dr. Bryant or whomever as being super impactful. I mean, he, with his congregation and with his platform, as you said earlier, I want to correct him as what I think is a misunderstanding. I was never talking about negotiating with Jamal Bryant. Never. I was talking about the sisters coming together to tell the heads of Target what.
Yeah, I knew what you were talking about.
Okay, but I don't know. It felt like someone was talking about negotiating with Jamal Bryant. He's a non sequitur as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, I mean, he did what he did. But again, game recognized game. So I'm okay. We know
what I'm trying to get to, Marsha, is because we have to be able to find a way to package this so people will know what to do next. Because I think that's what was left on the table when they did their press conference. So I don't want to do that. I want to make sure that people understand what happened, how we move forward. So when we have a movement like this, and that there's words on the table, what they've already presented to Target. Now you got somebody saying, well, look, they don't want to talk to you. I'll talk to you. Yeah, we'll end it. We'll go ahead and end it. And they're like, what? Wait a minute. Yeah. How are you going to end it? That is the part I think that was not genuine. I do not think that it was fair that they say that we're ending the fast. But this is where we get into the next phase. Because I want to make sure we cover everything tonight. Pastor Jamal said that he ended the fast, not the boycott. He's saying that now. So I want to say there is a difference, guys. I looked it up and I want to share with y'all in my research. What is the difference between the Target fast and the Target boycott? The fast is the movement based on personal sacrifice and moral appeal. The boycott is a movement based on economic pressure and policy reversal. So let's talk about the Target fast. Movement based on personal sacrifice and moral appeal. That's what they're saying, that you're fasting from shopping.
Right.
That fast is over. So now when the fast is over, are you saying go shopping?
Right. Thank you.
Yeah. So
because that's what you do with your friends. You eat. Whatever you restricted yourself from during a fast, that's what a fasting is to take whatever you find important, take it out. And then when you stop the fast, it's a return to it.
Yeah.
Well, so hopefully when you fast, you are in a discovery mode. You are realizing you don't need it. You are realizing, I've done fast where I intentionally stopped doing something. And then when I tried to resume it, I couldn't. So fast have an important effect. If you figure out how to do without something, if you figure out how to resource something that you used to do, you don't have to do it. You might figure out a better way, and that's another part of our conversation that I hope we're able to get to. Like, how can we develop ourselves economically so we're not even in this position? Where's our Target? Not Target, obviously, but where is our store? How can we publicize the Black businesses that already exist that can provide a lot of the items and services that we get from Target? and how can we
Good idea.
how can we economically
really do you need them?
Community
that's a
to
be
because the like a lot of communities don't have a lot of choices, right? You know how like Ella in Monroeville, you just about gotta go to Walmart because you don't have nowhere else to go. You don't have nowhere else to go. So then, we have to start thinking, more about, I mean, these are long-term ideas, of course, but we got to start thinking about how to boost the Black businesses that we have that can supply some of these needs, and how can we compel the organizations, the opportunities that do exist to support. And Target can do that. We can compel them to do it. They're hemorrhaging money left and right. So I'm just saying.
I think for me, I'm so different, guys, because like I'm not trying to make it work for Target. Like I'm not trying. The way I look at it, I'm like, I don't care if they make another $1 billion. I'm not saying. I don't think that we should. If they don't give us what we want, then just don't go to Target. Be done with them.
Right.
Let them figure out how to let Trump supporters spend all the money. Why are we trying to save them? We don't need to
save them. Yeah. I'm saying we can compel them through money. What do we get when there is grievance? What do they have that can help settle a grievance? They got a lot of money. We can get resources out of them to do what we want. I'm just saying it's an opportunity.
You're right about that, but the resources, but you're basically what I'm hearing is a way to get us back in the stove. And no matter what, that's the job of Target and their corporation, their big heads. They have to get the people's money back in the store because they know, number one, most of the stuff in that is priced very, very high. So they're going to make money on anything that they sell out of that store. And who are the people that spend the money? Us. So they want to get us back in there for what reason? To make them more money. So if they got to give $5 billion right now to make $20 billion off of us, damn right they're going to do it, but they're going to make you think that $5 billion they gave us was something.
Yeah.
But it depends on what we do with the $5 billion. It depends on how we use that $5 billion. And not only that,
together, right? Dudes like this.
If we look everything, we're not gonna be able to convince hearts and minds, right? All that they have is a resource, and we can do anything we want if we plan it, if we organize it. I'm just saying there is a way to make this really beneficial. There is a way for them to support and help our community create our own resources. We can. That's a demand we can make.
We gotta first come to agreement with what we want.
Exactly. But what do you think can be done by Target to help us? Especially with the George Floyd situations. Where's Target stand on the George Floyd situation since they brought their ass in it about it? Because that was our lives. That was some real stuff. Where does Target and what are they doing to represent change from the situation that happened to George Floyd to not happen to its consumers? Please tell me.
I need some data in front of me. But okay.
They don't do nothing. They ain't gonna do nothing for it. They don't care about no George Floyd. I'm sorry.
We're not here for hearts and minds. I'm just being real.
Guys, I want to ask you guys some questions. Do you think that the people are confused? Do you think they still care? Or do you think they'll now start shopping at Target? You said that you saw people at Target. I'm sure people were going anyway, right, Marsha? Even during the boycott.
Like I said, full disclosure at the beginning, I found myself there a few times during the boycott. I can admit that I think I decreased my reliance incredibly because as an educated baby, we all up in there. They gave us a discount. They delivered to our houses for free. Honey, please. But I'm just gonna tell you, like I'm not going to be dishonest that I've been in there a few times, but I've greatly reduced, and I'm incentivized to keep doing it. I've only been in there a handful of times throughout, right? So, but here's my observation too that I want to make, and I told you about this, Ella. The fact that I don't know if it's just a New York thing because I'm in Brooklyn, but in the stores that I'm in, there's no shortage of Black people, employees. There's no shortage. As a matter of fact, almost to exclusion. The stores that I'm in have Black people, like everywhere. And they seem like they cool about being there because I talk to them, And I say to myself, the problem, that we probably have is like, are Black people representing leadership? Obviously not, because there's no way a decision like this could have been made if there were people of color in the boardroom, if there were people of color in, executive management, if there were people of color who influence these decisions. So,
well, that's what they had going, and they stopped it because of Trump. They were on that path. That's why we boycotted, because they were doing that. We were giving our dollars to them. They had Black, Ms. Brown and all these people. We were celebrating. But then when Trump came in, his word mattered more. He didn't care about George Floyd. He didn't care about, look, y'all Black folks need to figure it out. Because I'm not going to jail. I'm not going to get investigated. That's what he was afraid of. Because Trump was making all these demands and scaring everybody with these baseless investigations and taking funding away and all this kind of foolishness. So he bowed down to Trump and like, look, y'all on your own. So what do we think all of that went just because he met with Jamal? Where do we think all of that went? Did they just all of a sudden say, oh, I love y'all again? No, you know what I read? I read that Target said Jamal came in this meeting. This is something I did read, but that he came into the meeting and did all the talking, and they really didn't say anything. But no, we're not apologizing. We're just going to move forward. They're not going to, because they know Trump is watching. So I don't know why we even think that was a serious situation. Do we know that this lady also sent a demand letter to the CEO about ICE?
Okay.
She also, Nikema. Yeah, her group.
I was aware of that. Yeah. And that's super important. Super important, because Target is fueling our oppression.
Yeah.
It's like having 4 kids and somebody coming, snatch them away and take them away. And then you go back to the family and you bring back 3. And you say, well, I went to the people, I found them, and I got 3 of them back, but they just don't keep the other one. I'm gonna just, until they ready to let that one go, and my baby's just gonna stay in the captive.
Because how
does that change? That don't even make no sense. Why would you do that? And he said it himself. We got 3 out of 4 demand. Well, then you didn't get what you needed.
I'm like, that was crazy. Now when I heard that, I was shut down.
Yeah.
Then why are we talking? You go back and get that 4th one.
Right.
They won't invest with They won't invest with the Black banks with him. So what negotiation did he do that was so much more powerful than what the little sister, if she did, turn them down? What did he get accomplished? They still said no. So that means they not scared. They didn't feel the wrath of your financial loss, of your parishioner people coming and giving their money on their overpriced items. It didn't hurt them. Trust me, they got insurance to back them up. Insurance for the insurance. They do have a loyal string because, as you said, they know how to incentivize people. And if there are people that's out there that need certain type of Pampers, they know how to corner the market, and they be the only ones selling the Pampers. You need the Pampers, i.e. you're going to have to go to Target. When they give you those $50 gift cards in the mail, in the neighborhood, how many people going to throw them away? That's $50 free money. They're going to go get that $50 and spend it at Target. Target know how to draw you in. Why? Because it's a business. All they do is manipulate everybody. They wanted to do her, but she wouldn't go for it. That's it. That's what they do. Their whole job is to not even care about color, because guess what? their greatest consumers, the ones that buy most of their overpriced, are people that, aren't on the side of the DEI. Those are the people that they call this land is for. So that means they're already selling out their own people. Why? They're a business. They got to make money at the end of the day. That stock went down from 150 something over that to 95, going down right now, $90 a share. That's a huge loss. They don't want to lose that. Why? Because they're not there for no DEI or no Trump's America. Target is not there for any of that. Target is there for making money, and they will jump on the things that matter to us, the consumer. They'll get involved with them on both sides. Why? Because it gives them attention. And at the end of the day, the beginning of the day, the middle of the day, they need attention. They know it's going to be people that's going to come and spend money. End of the year, they might not have made 20 billion, but they'll still make 19 or 18. Was that a big thing? Are we shutting Target out, running the stores down? The stores are closing down? Hell no. Then they know that. So they're going to tell him we'll do 3 or 4. And then had the nerve to say, and we told them to go up for the HBCUs. He said, one of them promised to partner with 12 of us. One Target? Out of all of it, you sat down with the corporation and one said yes. Man, that should have been disrespectful to you. You should have kicked the chair over and left the boardroom hot as fish grease. Because that was disrespectful. To tell me we ain't gonna help your black banks and that HBCU. Which one of y'all gonna help them? Nobody say nothing. Did once. Well, I help. And I'll put a couple of the things. Why? Because he know he gonna make money. That's disrespectful, and that's something that sister wasn't going for. That's why she wasn't in that meeting, in my opinion.
I want to play this, guys, because I know that Tamika is actually one of the people that that she addresses. So I wanted to allow Tamika to be able to respond to some of the backlash.
Right. Yes. Well, let me just also say that I've never claimed that I started a boycott. I've never said it. I haven't said it on this show. I haven't said it to you. I haven't said it on any other show. I've never even said it in an article. In fact, when Senator Turner called me in January, and thank you, Roland, for what I'm about to say, February 12th, I had a new book coming out. And so I have to be honest in saying that, I was trying to get on shows and to be in front of the public to promote my book, which is my memoir about my personal life. And so while I was involved and I was doing much of the work behind the scenes, I was not attempting to play a very public role. I mean, obviously, I have a major platform. So when I posted that I have joined the boycott and that I'm going to be a part of the organizing efforts, there are different entities that took that message and they ran with it and did whatever they chose to do. But if you go back and listen to my statements early on, I was very clear that there were a number of other people. I called individuals by name, that there were other individuals who were also organizing. They were organizing locally. They were organizing in different places across the country. And I have said that from the beginning. I maintain it. What I am not going to do is participate in struggle Olympics for who ran the race first and who got there first. That to me is childish. And it is something that I won't participate in because everybody had the ability to do whatever they needed to do to keep the campaign and their boycott going. And I pray that it does continue in the ways in which people feel they need to so that we get to an end that is not just about, again, Target, but that it is about holding corporations accountable ultimately. And what is most important to me is that this boycott it sends a clear message to the Trump administration that you may arrest us. You may try to silence our voices with all the suppression tactics. But the one thing you cannot do is force us to spend our money with companies where we feel disrespected. And so we will use We will use our voices. We will use the work that we are doing, or the money, that we have, to be our voice and to scream out loud for us, even though we may feel that some of us are being suppressed in other ways. And so, again, I have no intention. You will never, ever see me working to post slander and going back and forth with people. I will defend myself and I will speak up when I feel that I am being mischaracterized, or that any of the people who I work with, who I love dearly, are being mischaracterized. But I will not participate in struggle Olympics that becomes a unnecessary distraction for folks who are attempting to continue to move forward. For me, what I would do if I was anyone, and I'm not speaking particularly to folks in Minneapolis, but this is anyone who is now saying, well, we're picking it up, more clergy, we're going to do a fast. We have a new campaign and we're going forward. I will gladly join those efforts. If there is a need for me to share my expertise and support, I will do so. And if not, I will be like the tens of thousands of people around this country who no one knows their name. They didn't make themselves, they didn't do a big announcement. They just took their money and put it in their pockets and said, I'm going to be a part of this in my own way. And so that's where I stand on that. Again, if you ask me, I'll tell you where I stand. But in terms of
Now, hey, she said it right. Now, that's Sister Soldier. For a lot of people that don't know, you need to look that woman up. That woman is a great author. She has wrote some of the greatest works, to the community of readers. And, her work in the community speaks for itself. Sister Tamika Mallory. But, as what she said, she started off, she said she didn't never claim ownership of being the one that did that. In actuality, because we speak facts, my life is Pastor Jamal, in a statement said, and he quote, "These are the warrior women," and he named Attorney Nakima, Representative Nina, and Sister Soldier Tamika Mallory, verbatim, word for word, as those who he gives claim of starting this boycott. He said it. He named those women. So that she telling the truth when she said, I never said I started it. In actuality, he said that. And by him making that statement, that proved right there, well, if you know these women started it, why were those women not in the negotiations with you? And how are you continuing to claim ownership of it by even saying we? Just the word we implies more than yourself, because we know how to say I. And he says a lot of I about everything that he needs that goes to crediting himself. So when you say we, you're purposefully meaning more than yourself. So when he say we shut down we sat down, had negotiations, we stopped this, it's over, we, he know who he talking about, and he know that is not his authority, because out his own lips, he gave the claim of starting this boycott to that sister that y'all just saw. One of those sisters, one out of those three. And it was someone else also, we'll get to that, who had a very important part, an instrumental part in organizing this. Like he said, among the many others that are nameless. But to be clarified, he said that and not her.
So do we think that Tamika, and because we played Nakima's video earlier, that's why I played them too. She was talking about Tamika in her video. Now this is Tamika's voice saying, listen, I never said this. Do you think that there's a way for these women to come together so that we can mend this boycott and make it even bigger? Because we're not going to be able to go ahead until we figure this out. We got to figure this out, squash it, so that we can go ahead and be powerful. Do you think that's necessary, Marsha? Do you think that's necessary?
I hope so. I hope so. It's unfortunate that this leadership got derailed somehow. But in addition to that, we are not a monolith. What if we were aligned and several pastors, very powerful leaders in our communities, united? we haven't always had just a singular leader. We are used to having a singular leader, but I think times can accommodate having more than one leader. I regret some of the I guess backlash, some of the negativity that was put into the ethos around the, I mean, I love everybody involved. I believe in their commitment. Even Jamal Bryant, even though he claimed it was just a thing with his church, which I believe. I saw his first video, but he went on social media though, like the brother said, he got this huge platform, and so he was saying, "Oh well, I just wanted to do this with my congregation," but you didn't really. If it was just your congregation, you might not have used social media. You would have just said, in your in your
news conference was a bad idea. That's what I'm trying to get to.
Right,
the news conference was a bad idea. Do you agree? Yes or no? Okay.
I'm sorry.
Do you agree, Texas T? Yeah. Why was it a bad idea? Briefly. Why was it a bad idea?
That's why I feel the manipulation, because as she said, you're speaking to the whole of the world.
Right.
When you're supposed to be, speaking to only your congregation if you only meant it for your congregation. That's why I don't believe in coincidences. I don't believe you misspoke. I believe you tactically spoke the words that you knew would give everybody to stop it. And now the backlash comes, and now you want to clean house and you want to clean, save face. But you knew what you were saying when you used that word. And like she said, when you spoke on camera, period, in a news conference to the world, this ain't your church. Go to your church and talk to your people behind closed doors, because we damn sure don't see his church service every Sunday on no major broadcasting station. So it ain't like, we are in there with him. He has a place that's for his people, and he can be private. If he didn't do that, he purposely did that to us, and we need to call him out for it. I'm not giving nobody no pass, especially when people are getting manipulated who really need help. I'll hold those people that have that attention over those people. You got to hold them accountable. You know what I'm saying? Because if you don't, guess what they're going to continue to do? They're going to continue to inspire others to do this. And like you were saying, sister, then Target going to be sitting down at the table with any and everybody giving money. They don't know who's speaking for y'all, because everybody can come out and play.
Yeah. I agree. And I think that this did hurt the movement. I personally do.
They diffused.
Yeah, I think it hurt.
Very old time.
Great word, diffused it. That's exactly what they did. They did that on purpose.
Because Target knows that we have a price. They know
exactly. Now. They know.
Yeah.
They know. And if you can, I said this in a show many years ago when we were talking about reparations. I said my opinions personally. There's no dollar figure, there's no dollar amount that you can give to me that can repair the life of someone you took in the past. You can't even use money to repair life being taken. You know what I'm saying? So if you talk about reparations in a nominal figure, in truth, for every life, the value of every life, you wouldn't have enough money for that. So we need to get off of making a price tag on things. You understand? It's more than just getting a pocket full of money. Right. Reparations ain't just that, but those that will manipulate you will deduce reparations to only that nominal figure and give you what they feel is good, but they only do it knowing they finna get a whole lot of coming to them. No. That's real.
Just think about it. They had done that at Montgomery bus boycott. Imagine if they would have just said, you know what, we at least sent a couple kids to college. Don't worry about it, guys. We got something out of it. They were like, no, we need change to happen in the system.
Right.
Because if you're not systemically changing it, then you didn't do anything. That money, you may or may not get it. They already promised it one time. Why am I excited about that? Right. They just 2% left. They're almost there, guys. So I think the fast should be over. And I keep listening, and I'm listening for the positive in it. And I can't find it, because I'm like, you didn't have to do that. There was nothing wrong with saying, hey, Miss Nakima and you guys, hey, let's sit down. Let's all sit down. Let's talk about this, guys, because we need to be on one accord, because we're all responsible to these people that are looking at us. Every single one of us. Someone should have been able to pull him back. Say, look, brother, I don't think we need to say this yet. Because what happened, this is why I'm confused. Because after the conference, now you have Nina and you have Tamika. They're both saying, look, I'm not saying go back to Target. But then what was the purpose of this boycott, this conference? Right. What is the message we were supposed to get? The fast is over. If the fast is over, that means now you can go eat. In other words, go ahead and go back to shopping now. Those were dog whistles to Target. I got your back.
Right.
The problem is Target, it didn't work because people, you see the backlash. Now I think that it hurt it for just a moment. I think that people watching all of these broadcasts, I think it's making people angry all over again. And I think they're going to re-energize after we get past this little tit thing here. Yeah. And I think that we're going to reorganize, and it's gonna be even bigger and better. People are going to really stop shopping. Yeah. I hope.
I'm sorry. What'd you say, Queen? You hope? I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to say, in comparing the Montgomery bus boycott, I think that, and I said this before, we need to develop resources within our community. We need to, because what they did to keep people from getting on those buses, they got together and organized a very intricate plan to get Black people from A to Z, without them ever needing a bus. So that's on us. Like, there's something for everyone to do. And we need to organize in the ways that we are able to organize to prevent people from going. I mean, it's time to get to the next level. Maybe we need to form picket lines. Maybe we need to, stand at the entrances to these places and talk to the customers and say, hey, we would like you to honor our picket line and, not shop here because
not spending money there is our biggest weapon. It's the most nonviolent thing we can do. It keeps us at the house. We're not out there worrying about ICE and running into anybody and getting in any kind of trouble. I think that is, and it obviously it worked because it caused all this. But I want to address these comments. Brenda Lee says it's over, that it's not a boycott. It's canceled for life for me. So I need to address this, because how many Brendas are out there, guys, that are saying, I'm done? Do you mean, Brenda, that now you're going to go shop at Target? Is that what you're saying? I really want you to answer me on that. Because the next comment says, I'm never shopping there again. They showed their faces. You see the differences right there? And I wish I could talk to Brenda, because I want to know, why is it over for you? Is it because of all this going back and forth? You're frustrated now? Is it because you think that we don't know? I mean, we collectively as Black people don't know what we're doing, and that there's no real leader, and that you can't trust the ones that are talking? Like, I really want to know why you say that, Brenda, if you can respond. Because this is what I'm afraid of, Texas T and Marsha, is that this movement is going to dwindle because of that misstep with Jamal. That was a big misstep. I'm just going to call it spade a spade. It was a misstep, in my opinion. I'm not going to dance around it because I think it was. But here's the thing. Texas. See, I really want to ask you this. Is it one of those things where someone can say, well, listen, if Nakima really wanted to go out there and meet with them, she could have done it too. We met with them. She could have done it. So now you mad at us because we got a chance to meet with them and you didn't. Well, you said you could meet with them. I'm playing devil's advocate now. Is that probably what's on the forefront of people's minds?
Exactly. And that's in my opinion also, because, we're not in those people's heads to be able to speak exactly to their mind. But from what we're assessing, from what was done, that's exactly what has happened. The people who were responsible were not ready. And so some other people who felt, that they could take advantage of the situation stepped in, and they did. And this is what we're talking about right now. This is what everybody's out here talking about. We're not talking about, rumors of things. We're talking about actual things that were done. This man made these statements claiming an end to something that he had no authority to do that over, and it caused a reaction of sorts. Yeah. So this is the truth. He did that, and there are those who don't want to say that it really affected us, and it has affected this movement. It will affect this movement moving forward, and that he purposefully did that to cause this, for their financial benefit.
I want to give people something to think about. I want to give people something to think about because I want to make sure that I get through everything that I wanted to share with you guys tonight. Target has an agenda also.
Of course.
Okay. And it is not because, I miss you guys. I know we did that little thing with rolling back the DUI because of Trump and everything, but we're sisters and brothers now. We love you back. No, that is not what happened here. That is not what happened here. They need something. Okay. Sure. They need to not look the way they do because of these lawsuits. I'm going to tell you guys, they're in lawsuit trouble right now. Their name is bad. Their shareholders are not happy. They got people suing them because this DEI rollback, it made the stock go down. So people lost a lot of money. It's all about money. They have nothing. They do not care. That's why they can't apologize, because it's not in them. Right now, they're allowing their business mind to step over, and they're like, look, just give them something. Just give them something. God help us all. That's a line from Remember the Titans. But anyway, they just want something, and that's why they're willing to talk. Let's talk about these lawsuits. SBA of Florida is suing them. Okay? The Florida's Attorney General and pension fund managers allege that Target defrauded its own investors by hiding the financial risk of its DEI and social initiatives. The damage, they claim Target's political theater wiped out $25 billion in shareholder value.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's up.
So somebody messed up financially, and so now Target has to redeem itself. But check this out: the Montgomery bus boycott back in the day. Why did they do that? Why did they change their rules? Because they felt bad about this little black lady, Rosa Parks, that got sent to jail. Because we feel bad for black people all over, and the treatment, so we're going to change the whole system. No, they didn't change for humanitarian reasons. They changed because of financial.
Yes.
It was financially devastating. Yes. And that's the only way they change anything, when it devastates them financially. We crippled them financially, and to this day, you can sit wherever the hell you want to sit on the bus right now, because they know them dollars count at the beginning, middle, and end of the day. That's what Target find out. They F8, what we call it, fuck around and find out. Yep, that's what they done did.
Yeah.
That's what they done did. But guess what? They only fixing it, and the only thing that they gonna come up with in the future for whoever that comes out with it is so they can make money. Because again, Target is what? A business. It ain't a religion. It ain't a scholastic center. It don't do nothing for people in this world but take out their pocket.
That's it.
I ain't heard of no Target scholarships. I ain't heard of no Target block parties. I ain't heard of no Target watch parties. I ain't heard of Target even helping the missing children out here. We'll send some towels or some boots or something. We'll donate to that, to the real things that happen in the community every day. Y'all spend trillions with us. Back in the day, McDonald's used to say 365 black when they wanted to manipulate us. At least they gave us something. They're not even manipulating us with a smile. They're not even giving us something. McDonald's back in the day, they used to campaign 365 black. Black. Remember the Calvin and all that? This is some of y'all that don't know. Look it up. This happened back in the day. I understand some of our viewers, might not have been there at the time, but McDonald's did this at one time. This was known in the black community. They had commercials for the getting up of church on Sunday. They go get their breakfast. They had the Calvins, we'll give you jobs, and the black community just funneled there in lines, and just filled up all of their shops. And then all their commercials was Martin Luther King, the dream, the candles, the life and love of black people accomplishments. When did that stop? Once they got enough money. That's why y'all don't see it as prevalent as it was back in the day. But all I'm telling y'all is these are business tactics. These are business tactics that have been implemented, and we should not be surprised that they're being implemented today. It's just some of our leaders have failed us. Not all of them, but some of our leaders have failed us by directing us in the wrong way. Like Martin Luther King said back in the day, I feel like I've brought my people into a burning house. A lot of people love to hear that quote, and they use that when they want to go on a tangent about how, he led us wrong. But what they didn't hear, or what they don't say, is the second part. What he did say in the end of that sentence, he said, so therefore, we must become firefighters.
That's right. Say it.
The problem. Right. Because we don't bring our people in the stuff. We're trying our hardest to get right. We don't go, I want to be able to lay wherever I want to lay and sleep wherever I want to sleep and go wherever I want to do. If you don't want to, that's cool. But everybody should have a right to do it. That's why some people didn't like him, because they felt like, man, you trying to get us to include when we don't want to include. Well, you don't want to include, but you ain't everybody. And some of us, as humans, like human interaction. And if a person treats me right, I want to be around the people that treat me right. I don't give a damn if you my skin folk, all that. If you treat me wrong, I want to get the hell away from you. And I want to be around those that's going to treat me right. And that's all that they were trying to apply, a life where people was treated right. Were they able to accomplish it? Were they able to accomplish everybody liking them? No, but they put forth the effort for the people. These manipulators today, they are not those. Those sisters, those women warriors, and all of those that are actively campaigning about this, that are for real, they're the ones that embody the spirit of those people back in the day that were sacrificing for a greater change in our lives. You understand? But these other ones, they come in with the church, they come in with the collection plate. They got agendas. They're joining in because they know we are weak. They know y'all like them bathing suits at Target during summer. They know you like that. So they gonna send us back there. Why? So that the master can get all his slaves back on the plantation and he can get his money. That's my opinion.
It's all about money. I got more. The Ohio teachers lost an estimated $5 million because of stock drop. Yeah. The argument, while Target gives $18 million to HBCUs with one hand, they have allegedly lost billions of dollars that belong to Black and brown retirees with the other hand. Let me talk about the discrimination lawsuits, since y'all think they just so friendly with Black folks. Y'all think they are friend now. No, I want you to listen to this, okay?
Well,
systemic bias. All right. $3.74 million settlement. What was it for? For a background check policy that disproportionately disqualified Black and Latino applicants. $2.8 million EEOC settlement for using biased pre-employment tests that screened out Black, Asian, and female applicants for management roles. Remember how they promised us? Okay, y'all, hello, somebody. Remember what I said at the beginning? I said, this is who Target was before. They were preparing us for these management roles, but they just settled a lawsuit because they didn't. Y'all better wake up. I'm not done.
Okay.
$2.225 million. Washington State. Guess when that one happened? This year.
All right.
Just settled days ago for failing to disclose pay ranges, which activists say leads to wage theft for minority workers. That's something that Nakima is talking about.
Exactly. She showed it. Oh, she owned it too. See, all of this, you got to dig deep, my people. You know, and I love it because I am the PK. You know, and so I love to use that they use against us, against them. You know, we have a church here tonight, y'all. And the book says, my people perish for a lack of knowledge. Not that they don't have knowledge, it's a lack, meaning they missing something. Guess what? When we go search and we find out the details of all of this, we'll find the pieces that we missing and we'll put together the whole story of manipulation. Look at it.
Right.
Yeah.
1 second they say one thing because they're hoping you will trust them. And you won't do nothing but what they direct you to do. That man sat up and it just pissed me off. Just like he just ended the war and just, oh, thank God, I'm the great God. It's over. Man, you know what you were doing.
Right.
And guess what? The people now know it.
It
And now
didn't
you
work.
want to
Well, I don't think
work.
anyone had any delusions about what it was all about. And but money is how we hurt them too. That I mean, it's a money grab. Like I don't. I mean, I don't care if anybody likes me. I don't care if anybody blinks when I walk in. I don't care about human responses to my identity. But if you impede my path, if you try to punish me economically or any other way, our remedies are sought in courtrooms. Our remedies are sought in settlements. So, you know, keep going. Keep going.
So taught us.
You have participated in this behavior, then, like you said, we have a case. And
exactly.
You know, the case is an opportunity to change things. I mean, that's all they got. I'm just saying that's all they got is money.
Well, let me show you how we slipped, though. Let me show you how we slipped. That conference that he did the other day, their stock went up.
Exactly. Because they know the liquor, they know that they can get one of them to sell their people out, and it will work financially. When Martin, and we're gonna use this, when Martin was speaking about, you know, peace for just the people, they ain't had no problem with him. When he starts saying don't drink Coca-Cola and eat Wonder Bread and don't do this to that, they say, oh hell no,
that's the deal breaker right now.
But when you're messing with our economics, hey, and we can't fool you no more. Hey, no, now they got a problem. Yeah, so they know that. And this man, again, for all those that trust in this God, he blames God for everything. So now he wants you to forgive him because God orchestrates everything and God made me do it. And so y'all don't need to question God. Those are all tactics of those who are trying to deceive you, because they will give and take no responsibility on themselves for their own actions. They blame it on this entity that ain't none of y'all been able to sit down with and talk. I ain't never heard nobody say, who's your next witness? I'm calling GW to the witness stand. God, would you come on in here? And he just floated in there and sat at the stand. Yeah, I'm God. Yeah, I did it. Ain't nobody ever had no court case like that happen. So God ain't came. So who are these people, this person, this entity that you keep blaming and to take credit for your mistakes? You mean God told you to do that and then God messed up? Because you turned around and said you failed. So what God, you see how the manipulation is being put on us people? And it's sad because
and I need y'all to forgive me. I'm a brother. I made a mistake. Why don't y'all show me love? Listen, this is they needed you because they need to show their shareholders that they're getting along with black folks. They have to show that because their stock is down. They're not happy. These people, these black. Let me share with you guys what it really meant. That the first one I told you about. What that really meant with that one is that the Florida Attorney General was basically saying that Target lied to black police officers and black teachers about the safety of their pension money. They used that money for political theater, lost billions, and then to make the lawsuit go away and restore black trust, they gave $18 million to HBCUs. It's a game. You have to wake up. It's a game. That's what we're here for, is to make sure you understand. I want to share something before we get out of here, because this was a boycott. And I think everything can be a coachable, teachable moment. And I want to talk about Operation Breadbasket, because that is something that is recognized as being a successful boycott. And let me tell you how they did it and how we did it all backwards. Okay. The first thing they say you're supposed to do is get your information together. Fact finding. Find out what's going on. What is it that we need? What is it that we want? What is it now? Let's do a comparison. We need something to measure up against. Like, did anybody do that? We're crying about DEI, but what are the stats? Like you said, Marsha, what are the stats? Where are we with it? Why are we asking for that? What exactly are we asking for? Why are we asking about incarceration? That Target is involved in incarcerating our young people. There's a young man right now in prison. He's 30 years old and he's been there and he's innocent, and Target has something to do with it. But y'all just think they love us. No, this is going on now. And this is what Nikema was talking about. She brought out all this stuff. That's how I know it. Information. We got to get our facts together. Negotiation. You have to give the company a chance to do right. Okay? I believe in that, because then you don't have to boycott. If you go and sit down at the table and they listen and everybody's agreeing, and you got to make it's the with them. What's in it for me? Everybody's thinking that way. So we figure it out. We talking it is over. There's no need to go to number 3. If they don't give you what you need, now you go to number 3. What's number 3? Don't buy. Don't buy campaign. Okay. Don't buy. And what they did back in the day, they didn't buy. They didn't start out with. They started out with like the most expensive stuff to prove a point how powerful this can be. So then after that, and this is what I was asking, get it in writing. Get some kind of covenant. You made an agreement. Where's the proof? I would, if I were sitting with Jamal right now, I would say, okay, let's talk about these negotiations that you had. What did they promise you? And what's the deadline on it? When is it going to happen by? Do you have it in writing? Did they, what are we calling this? Did they not do that? I mean, they're questions, like nobody is questioning. And this is the part that I hope moving forward. And I want you guys to say your say too. I hope moving forward that we as leaders, those of us who call ourselves as leaders, that we understand that I'm not doing this just for me. There are billions and millions of people watching and looking up to me. And when I open my mouth, I need to make sure that I represent them and not me, because that's what's going to make the movement weaker when people don't trust you. That's my say. Marsha, what do you got? And we're going to finish with you, Texas T. What do you got? You're muted.
No, I agree with everything you said, sis. It's not a popularity contest. It is a negotiation, and we have to decide, what do we want? What is important to us? And like you said, and like your guidelines said, they have to make a commitment. I mean, on paper, so that if indeed they don't do it, they're liable, and we can pursue it. So I just regret the not just the misdirection in the leadership, but like the kind of hostility, I guess. I mean, I understand. Yeah. I'm a Black woman, so yeah. I know very well what it's like to be talked down to. I know what it's like to be talked over. I know what it's like to be ignored. I do regret some of the energy that came out of it. Like we gotta demonstrate leadership and love, even if we don't feel it. We just have to do it. It makes our movement more effective. And you can discredit someone, without name calling or, whatever. Just try not to take it base. Just try not to take it too base. But yeah, just respect. It's got to be respect all the time, because if you're not giving it, you can't get it. So that's all I want. I hope for. But even if we disagree, we can still come together. And what I was saying about Dr. King, like, even though a lot of Black people didn't agree, they still didn't get on that bus. Do you understand? Like, even
they didn't get on that bus. That's right.
Even though there was a lot of Black people that pushed back, that said, I don't know that nigga. He don't mean shit to me. But we had enough community that they still didn't get on that bus. It's Amen. Sometimes personality will lead us astray. Just, I don't like that motherfucker. We just gotta deal. We just gotta be real with it and just deal with difficult people within our group. It's a fact. We're different. That's all.
So Texas T, before you say, I want to ask you just some basic questions. Do you think that, and just quick yes or no's, that's what these are. Do you think that Jamal was wrong to be at that conference that day? Yes or no?
Yes.
Do you think that it was wrong for Tamika and Nina to be up there knowing they didn't agree with what he was saying?
Yes.
Okay. Do you
Yes.
think they agreed with what he said?
Do I think they agreed with what he said?
Yeah.
No, I don't think they agreed wholeheartedly, but I think that in the situation how it was already done, and so that one of those situations. This is all I'm saying. My opinions, y'all. I just think from on the outside looking in that it was one of those opinions where you was put on Front Street, so you didn't want to tear it down, even though you didn't agree with it. And
Right.
some of us will feel like, oh, I'm gonna deal with this later, but for save your face right now, and we ain't gonna act a fool, you know what I mean? You know how we've been taught to be cordial, and disagree. Like the sister said, we have to learn how to be disagreeable with each other without, not supporting each other. Just because I don't agree with your tactics don't mean that we shouldn't support this same cause that does
Okay.
affect us. So I believe that they didn't agree with them, but they had their little opinions, but at that time I just feel like they didn't address it at that time.
Last question. Do you think that they should now work with Nakima?
That who should now work with them? Target
That
or
all of these, no, all of the ladies should come together. Have some kind of meet and greet. Let's sit down. We all want the same thing. Let's talk. Let's squash this because we need to have a united front. Do you think they need to somehow? I know that she says she doesn't want them in her city. They're not welcome in the city. I heard all that. And then I heard that, Tamika is saying, well, listen, I didn't say I never said this and I didn't say that. I'm just here because we care also. So I'm not going to go through the struggle, stuff that she said. So do you think that it's time for them to come together? Yes or no?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
If she said that she didn't say that, then she's basically saying, yeah, I'm willing to do that. And I believe Sister Soldier will be willing to do that because it's affecting everybody. And I think those sisters can come together and it would be beneficial if they did. And they talk, like the sister was saying, away from the cameras, get an understanding and move forward. Because like it or not, they are our leaders right now with this situation.
That's right.
People that are looking into them, they have to be responsible for it. And the best way is to join forces, collaborate, and then go after the enemy and put the enemy in this place, as y'all already do so magnificently in our lives. So that would be a beautiful thing, in my opinion, to see them all come together.
Okay, and what are your final words before we get out of here? You guys have been so gracious. Thank you.
And I thank everybody for being here tonight. I thank my beautiful my beautiful cohorts that helped out in this situation, the head host, and me as someone on her platform. I appreciate it. Everybody's presence is all you have, and I say this always: your presence is the most magnificent thing in life. It is a gift, and that's why it's called a presence. You could choose to be wherever you want to be right now in life, doing whatever, but you chose to stop by here and hear us. And so I take that as appreciation. I appreciate your time. And I know that what I gave to you today was the blessing that I would want sit back to me and my family. And that is the best to be in you and your life. And I do that by teaching and telling the people the truth. Because I am, as all my people know, the Houstonian, the Houston haters hate to hear, because I scream it loud and clear, 24/7, 365. I represent the truth in this life of mine. So no matter what you go through in life, no matter where you at, do what you were born to do. Do what God intended you to do. And in all situations, stand up. One love. Again, I appreciate you, Queen, for having me.
Oh, I feel like I should be like, That was awesome. That was awesome. Listen, I appreciate you. Thank you. I'm so glad that you were here. Brenda, she did earlier. I want to acknowledge what she said. She clarified what she's saying is like, no, I will not shop there again. When people tell you who they are, believe them. So I don't want to try to use this to tell people what to do. What I want people to do is hopefully take something of what we've said tonight and hopefully that it gave you clarity. That's all I wanted for this, and for us to stay the course, guys. We can't get sidetracked. We got to stay focused. I know what Jamal did, and we're all up in arms about that, but we got new problems starting tomorrow. I'm telling you, with this administration, Project 2025, all of that stuff, we got a whole lot of different issues. So let's move from this. Let's forgive. Let's embrace our leaders. Let's pray for our leaders. But leaders, we need you guys to tap into what God has called you to do and make sure that you're leading people the right way. Because the worst thing we can do is for people to stop trusting you. Because
I want to thank everybody, if you don't mind before you go, I want to thank everybody that has participated, everybody that is actively participating with the greatest intentions in your heart. Do not be discouraged and do not stop. We salute you and we thank you. You are our future generations. You are the greatness of us as a people. And in the words of the sisters, the boycott continues. One love.
Boycott continues. I know it. I'm definitely not shopping at Target. Real talk. Yeah. So I confess. All right, guys. Well, we're gonna get out of here. I'll be back on Thursday night. I am interviewing one of my hometown heroes, Eric Scott, who became Coach of the Year over in Mobile, Alabama. Yeah, he went up against his twin brother in the state championship. And so Eric was victorious in that, and he's going to be here with me Thursday night. We're going to interview him and see what that rivalry was like, because I can imagine how that was going up against your twin brother in the national and the state game. So that's all coming up this Thursday night, guys. Have a wonderful week. Thank you all so much for tuning in, and please do me a favor. And I need every single person that's watching to just hit the like button. Just do it right now. It takes 2 seconds. Hit the like button. And once you hit the like button, I want you to hit the share button so that we can be in everyone's households, right? But I want you to go over to YouTube and subscribe to the Ella Johnson Show. I'll see you Thursday night. Have a great evening, everybody. Thanks for watching. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Ella Johnson Show. We'll see you next time.
We are supporters of the Ella Johnson Show. We live in South Korea. We have been watching Ella Johnson's show for like a year now, and we love her show. Her show is very inspirational, motivational, and educational.
If you would like to be a guest on the Ella Johnson Show, send an email to theellajohnsonshow@gmail.com or send a text message to 407-334-6997.